DJUTV coming live from the drive. Today we have a very special guest. You might have heard about all the great work he has done for our community. You might have heard his name in the Lil Durk song, or you might have recently heard about how he's camping out on this rooftop during Chicago's wintertime. Ladies and gentlemen, I usually let my guests introduce themselves, but it is with both honor and pleasure that I introduce this noble, God-fearing man, Pastor Corey B. Brooks.
Man,
Pastor, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm really excited. Out of all the interviews that I get to do, I want to tell you, this is one I'm really excited about doing and thankful to be able to do. So I appreciate you being here today.
Likewise, I thank you for your time. I thank you for allowing me up here in your space.
Absolutely.
So I'd first like to get to know you a little more.
All right.
Let the people know about you a little more. You from Chicago?
No, I'm not from Chicago. Actually, I'm from a little town called Muncie, Indiana.
Okay.
Went to Ball State University, graduated from there, went to law school for a year at University of Florida, left there, went to Dallas Theological Seminary, started pastoring in a little town called Richmond, Indiana. Then from there, moved to Chicago to pastor a church on the low end, West Point Baptist Church. And I left there and started my own church. And on 35th Street is where we originally started before we came to King Drive here on 66.
Okay, I like that. So let me ask you. See, I was raised in the church. My grandfather's a pastor. He's been in the industry or ministry for over like 50 years down in street on 111. So, as a pastor grandson, you know, I kind of felt the pressure of growing up to be a preacher.
Yeah.
So how did you get into the ministry? When did you get your calling?
You know, I felt a calling at around about age 14, but I never wanted to be a pastor. I hated pastors, so I understand when people say they don't like preachers, they don't like pastors. I understand that. I was the same way, and I refused that I didn't want to be a pastor at 14. So I used most of my teenage years to just rebel, to kick it as hard as I possibly could. But at 19 years old, I finally surrendered to the Lord and decided I was going to do what I was called to do, and that was to be a preacher.
Okay. Now, at that time, so did you start off with your own church, or did you start under the wing of another pastor?
Right. I started under the wing of another pastor. Pastor W.J. Jackson, Union Baptist Church in Muncie, Indiana is where I started. And I was there for 3 years, and then I got called to my own church.
Okay. And just one more question I got out of curiosity. Can you tell us what's the difference between a reverend, pastor, or a bishop?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So a reverend and a preacher are pretty much the same thing. A pastor is a person who's over a church or a congregation. A bishop is over pastors. So that's typically, but pastor and bishop can be used interchangeably, but that's the difference. So you can be a preacher and not be a pastor, but you can't be a pastor and not be a preacher. You can be a bishop and over pastors, over several pastors or several churches.
Okay, now let's get into the Rooftop Revelations.
Absolutely.
Pastor Corey Brooks, you're known as the Rooftop Pastor now.
Yes, sir.
So can you tell us how this concept came about? Today is day 53. You're doing 100 days.
Yes.
Sleeping out, camping out on the rooftop. Tell us more about it.
So Rooftop Revelations and being on this roof came from 10 years ago. I was on the roof of a motel to bring awareness and the violence to Chicago and what was going on in this block. And I decided I wanted to purchase that motel, take it over and tear it down. So I went up on the roof of the motel. I stayed there for 94 days, raised enough money to tear it down, buy it and then tear it down. This is now 10 years later where we're on the roof again. We're not trying to tear something down, we're trying to build something up. And so that's why I'm on this roof for 100 days to raise as much money as I possibly can to build a much needed center on this block.
Now the community center that you're looking to build, is it going to be like exactly where we're standing right now?
It's going to be exactly where we're standing now, right here at 66 and King Drive, all the way to 65th and King Drive.
Okay. And Project Hood, I see it on your hat. Hood standing for helping others obtain destiny.
Correct.
Can you tell us more about that?
So we started Project Hood 10 years ago when I was on the roof, and with the in mind of trying to figure out ways that we can help specifically a lot of the brothers to transform their lives, to bring about transformation, to do something different. So we started Project Hood, looking at economics, looking at opportunities, looking at education, all the things that we thought are needed to help people transform their lives is what we want to get Project Hood involved in.
Now, going back to your previous response, when you was telling us where the community center will be, you said from 64th and King Drive to 66?
65th and King Drive to 66, yeah.
Okay.
But we're going to help all the people all around Woodlawn and Inglewood.
Now, we know that that street, we know as O Block. And I've heard you say in your interviews that we're going to call it Opportunity Block.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about this area, how long you've been here, and the difference you plan on making?
So the block, they call it O Block, named after a young man named O.D. Perry who was shot and killed. The brothers picked up the O in his name and started calling it O Block. Well, no disrespect, we wanted to make sure that we continue the O, but we just going to start calling it Opportunity Block. One, to take away the negative stigma of gangs and this being an area that people are not welcome. We wanted to make it a block where people feel welcome, where people get encouragement, where they get enlightenment, where they get everything they need to change their lives. And so we want to start calling it an Opportunity Block because that's what we're trying to create with this center, opportunities for everybody.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot because, our city has a stigma of such negativity when there are really a lot of great guys like yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of people that's really trying to make a change. And we need more conversations like this. We need more interviews like this. And we need more men like yourself that are willing to step up, and put it all on the line.
Absolutely.
I respect that a lot about you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So I'm checking out your Rooftop Revelation on Fox News this morning.
Okay.
I saw you had Shoebox Baby up here with you.
Yeah.
And, I really like the convo you all had. You can tell he got a lot of respect for you, a lot of love for you.
Yeah.
I even like the the story he shared about the 50 Cent.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what I like about that the most, for those who weren't able to see it, Pastor didn't take no belt and go across his backside. He told him put the gloves on and let's duke it out like men.
Yeah. Because I told him if you big enough to steal off a man's desk, that means you saying you a man, you gonna take something from me. So I wanted to teach him the principle that you can't take from real men. That's how you'll get hurt. So I made him. I didn't whoop him. I made him put on boxing gloves. And I just gave him a little straightening. That's all. Just a little straightening.
Now tell us how important discipline is. See, now when I was coming up, and I'm sure probably you as well, we used to get the whoopings with the belt.
Absolutely.
Then it got to a point where it was like, when social media came, they started calling it child abuse.
Exactly.
But tell us how important it is for these young men to have discipline in their life. Well, not even just young men, but in general.
Discipline is important because it carries over in every facet of your life. Even from a young person to an older person. The reason why a lot of people are not able to accomplish their dreams, I believe a lot of these brothers got some serious dreams and some great dreams, and they really want it, but they don't know how to get it. But the reason why they don't know how to get it is because they got one ingredient that's missing, and that's discipline. Discipline will make you get up out of the bed. Discipline will make you work and do the stuff that you really don't want to do, but do it like you like it, because it has to be done. And when you add discipline into any situation, you can succeed, you can overcome. But the biggest problem that I see with a lot of brothers in our neighborhoods is they just lack that discipline. They lack that drive, that tenacity. And so it's important to have somebody in your life to mentor you, to bring you along, to keep pushing you until that discipline kicks in and you're able to do it for yourself. That's what it's really all about.
That's what's up, Pastor. And you got 47 days left on the rooftop.
Yes, sir.
Tell us how has it been for you though? Sleeping up here, it's cold, man.
It's cold, but what keeps me going is I got so much support from the neighborhood. I get so much support from people around the country. I get people texting me that I would never think they would text me and say, they appreciate what's being done. And that means a lot, especially when I get encouragement from the guys, from both sides. It's one thing to get support and love from the guys on O Block because I got raised a lot of them since they were shorties. But it means so much when the guys from the other blocks come up on the tent and say, Pastor, we appreciate it. We want some opportunities. We want some change. Man, that means I'm on target. And that's what I'm about. I want to create opportunities for everybody. And I want to see all these young brothers succeed. And I want to see all these young brothers get ahead. Not just the young brothers, but the sisters as well. I want our community to do better. And so, you know, me standing up here on this roof in the cold is the least of what I can do if things can get better.
So the next 47 days, we can catch you on Fox News every morning?
You can catch me on Fox News every morning. I have a thing called Rooftop Revelations. If you go to foxnews.com, it'll come up every single day. And I'm talking to people from around the city. I'm even discussing various views and issues as it relates to education, economics, entrepreneurship, crime, all kinds of different issues. But the most important thing is I'm focusing on solutions, not just the problems.
I respect that a lot. Pastor, what's the first thing you're going to do when the 47 days up? What'd you say, February 28th, the last day?
It's February 28th.
What's the first thing you're going to do when you get off this rooftop?
So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go across the street to my church and take a nice, hot shower, for real. That's exactly what I want. And then, you know, sit down and just fellowship with everybody. And then after about 3 or 4 days, I'm going to make sure I take me a nice vacation.
That's what's up. Well, Pastor Brooks, I thank you for your time. This has definitely been, this is a classic interview.
Man,
already.
bless you, man. Thank you. And I wish you much success. I want to say I'm proud of you and for what you're doing, how you're trying to, you know, increase your gift. Everybody has a gift, skill, and a talent. And if they can tap into it, it can do wonders for them. So I appreciate you using your gift, your skills, your talent. Anything I can do to help you, I want to do that. I believe in you if don't nobody else believe in you.
Thank you so much, Pastor.
Yes, sir.
It's a blessing. DJUTV, Pastor Corey Brooks, we out.
We out.